So tonight we will go ahead and start with our grammarian.
Sorry about that. I was having some trouble getting it unmuted. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Kyler, and I will be your grammarian this evening. My role as grammarian will be to listen carefully for any abuses of the English language, anything that is grammatically incorrect, or any issues like that. Also, we'll be presenting to you the word of the day, which I'm pulling up for us now. Let's see. And the word of the day, which I'm feeling, the word of the day is zonked. And that's Z-O-N-K-E-D. And it's an adjective meaning very exhausted, used in a sentence. After the party, I was zonked. After work, I was zonked. After drinking a whole liter of Sprite by myself, I was zonked. And back to you.
Thanks, Kyler. All right, let's see here. Next, Table Topics Master, Maurice, can we get your role, please?
Yes. Table Topics Master. As a Table Topics Master, I will give each participant a subject, and they'll have 1 to 2 minutes to perform an impromptu speech on this subject. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thanks, Maurice. Guys, if I'm cutting out or anything, I apologize. My computer froze a little bit a couple times, and it says internet connection unstable. So I apologize if I'm cutting in and out or anything. Okay, so for our general evaluator for this. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Olivia. So for our general evaluator this evening, we have Donovan. Donovan, can I get your description of your role, please?
My role is going to be the general evaluator. Basically, what I'm going to do is keep track on how the meeting goes on the phone and how long it takes. And I'll also ask my team of evaluators who would be the timer, the first and second evaluator of the speakers, and so on. Thank you. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Donovan. I appreciate it. Hey, Donovan, your volume was a little low. I don't know if it was like that for anybody else. Is there any way you could turn up your volume just a tad, if you can, please?
It's already at 92.
Perfect. Thanks, Donovan. Okay, let's see. Our first evaluator will be Olivia. And let's see, timer, can we get your role, please?
Hello, Luke. So I'll be the timer for the evening. I'll continue as a timer, right?
I thought you were gonna be the timer, Luke.
No, I can continue as a timer. But Luke, as I have a speech, so Luke will help me out with my timing of the speech. So, hello, guests and friends. I will be the speech timer tonight. I will see the prepared speech is 5 to 7 minutes, as Luke will be helping me out for timing the prepared speech. At 5 minutes, there would be a green signal that we have reached the allotted time, and 5 to 7 is a yellow that we start closing down our speech, and more than 7 is a red that we need to wrap up our speech. This is for the prepared speeches. There's one from David as well, the educational overview, which would land in this category. And the second area is impromptu speech, as Maurice just conveyed us, the table topics, which is one of the important course of Toastmaster that we get opportunity to talk about some impromptu topics. So we get 1 to 2 minutes for these. So under 1 minute is good. 1 to 2 minutes is yellow. You try to wind up. Above 2 minutes, you try to conclude and hand it back to the table topic master. I'll relay the times towards the end of the meeting. With this, I'll relinquish the lectern back to Toastmaster Luke.
Thank you, Majid. And our last role for tonight is going to be, let's see, the awe counter, which I think is going to be Kyler again.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Kyler. I'll be the awe counter this evening. My goal of being awe counter will be to listen carefully for any filler words such as so you know, anything that would cover up a pause. Try not to do one myself right now. So back to you.
Thanks, Kyler. Okay, and with that, the roles are filled. And without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker tonight to the lectern, and that will be Majid. The title of his speech is Scientist Behind CEO, and this is from his Innovative Planning number 2, speech number 2, Connect with Your Audience. So without further ado, and I like it, Majid, you're standing up. I like that. I'd like to turn it over to Majid.
Hello, everyone. So today my topic is Scientist Behind CEO. I'm also trying to capture how far can I go on the screen. And it's good to be part of this excellent group where we have very spontaneous speakers, excellent like Maurice and some veteran speaker. It's always good to learn how to pause, how to develop your skills. So we can start now. The time that was just the intro. So Scientist Behind CEO. Hello. Today I have a research topic that I want to present to you, and that topic is Scientist Behind a CEO. How many of you were scared when you were young of the darkness? Starting me. In the darkness when you were young. Oh yeah, that's a monster story, right? So this little guy, when he was scared of darkness when he was young, he reasoned himself, why is it dark? Why is it dark? And then he found out darkness is nothing but absence of protons. He did not believe on the monster stories, but he reasoned it and reached to a conclusion there's nothing to fear about. It's just absence of protons causing the darkness. He read 4 encyclopedias when he was young, and he used to love reading. It's known that he's grown up by books. He used to read about 10 hours a day, about 10 hours a day. When he used to love programming and physics, so when programming language basics came in, it was a 6-month course. I remember I did it in my school as well. He finished in 3 days, end to end. He loves coding. He sold some of his codes, programming codes, for $500 to get video games. He loved video games. So that's something interesting and varied personality. He developed a money website called X.com, and later he sold it, and now we know it as PayPal, the money giant. You got it, guys. It's none other than Elon Musk. So I'm going to share some lessons that I've learned from his biography or some reading that I have done about him. Elon Musk is the CEO of autonomous, self-driving electric car giant Tesla. Any new project that he would do, he would read about it extensively and develop his expertise on it, and he would surround himself by that experts in that area. And he is an expert of artificial intelligence. He read so many books and have a lot of interface on this. He is expert for electric cars. So he envisioned this autonomous driving car, and he is the main scientist architect for this car. Not only the CEO, but he's a scientist. He added solar panels. That was of his interest. He envisions a solar city in future where we'll have the roofs, the roads, everything solar. So he bought a solar panel company himself, and then he added some in his new vehicles that adds about 15 miles per day of solar power to a car or a vehicle or a truck. And if you add the wings, solar wings, it could add about 45 miles per day. So let's jump on to his next innovation area. He studied a lot about space. He moved to LA to spend time with the experts of space research, because we have the hub of NASA in LA, Los Angeles, and US Army Space Force has a base there, and another Mars Society is based in LA. So he did a lot of research on it, and next thing you know, he has a big giant company called SpaceX. You probably know one of the big projects of SpaceX is Starlink. Starlink is a project where satellites are launched on the Earth, like a low orbiting satellites are launched around the Earth, which are close, and they provide internet and connectivity to underserved area and all the other areas. So this is an enormous innovative project. They have already launched around 70 satellites, which covers in the longitude, 40 to 55 longitude on the globe that is northeast of US. You could get a satellite internet for about $100 a month. So his mission is future reusable satellites. So he envisions a colony in Mars, but that's based on producing a reusable rocket. So you launch a rocket, comes back, and then takes another load, goes back. And his visions that if you were able to build 1 million ton of material in Mars, you could make a sustainable base in Mars. So after the road and space research, he dives in right into the Earth. The Boring Company. The main project for this company is Hyperloop. In Las Vegas, it takes quite significant amount of time to drive the Las Vegas Strip. So he built a underground tunnel, and this is his next innovation. He did a lot of research on it. It takes about 3 minutes now, and he envisions a lot of opportunity in this area. And he's very open in his research. He has patents open, everyone to compete with him. And then this last one, I see Luke showing yellow, but this last one is really weird. You guys need to listen to this. Neuralink. He's a co-founder for Neuralink. And listen to this. Integrate human brain with artificial intelligence. Wow. Yeah, Olivia says no. So I think it's per need basis, but it's a Fitbit that fits in your skull. It's for treating areas where all the brain is working fine, but that part of the brain is not working. Like the blindness is just that part of the brain. If you could stimulate it by its artificial intelligence, you could see. So this is the future vision, but blindness, deafness, and paralysis are the immediate gains for this. He is co-founder for this. So I'll close this off by two of his good saying that I love. First thing is, if something is important enough for you, even if the odds are against you, you should do it. Like one of this my underprepared speech, it was very important for me to deliver. So even the odds were a little off, I tried it, and I was able to get something out. And the next, I like the last of his saying, with this I'll close, is if you're not failing, that means you're not innovating enough. So we need to innovate and find more directions, because failing comes with innovation. If you are not failing, if you're in a soft corner, that means you're not innovating enough. With this, I'll relinquish the lectern back to our Toastmaster, Lou. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majid. And if you, I think you said you underprepared or didn't prepare, but you really looked prepared to me, and I thought the speech was great. It was interesting. I thought your flow was great. You were calm and confident, and I think the speech was excellent, man. So I really appreciate you doing it. I mean, Majid texted me about an hour before the meeting and asked me to sign him up for a speech. So anyway, I thought you did a great job, Majid. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next. So we will do for our second speaker spot. We're not going to have an evaluator for him, but we will have David, and we'll go ahead and do our education overview. David?
Thanks, Luke. Good evening, everyone. For tonight's educational overview, I'm going to discuss an article from Toastmaster International's magazine. And that's a magazine we should all be reading. It's free with our membership, and there's lots of interesting things in there. I say that for myself because I haven't really been reading it that much. So the title is Subtle Nonverbal Mistakes That Leaders Make. Your body language could be saying it all. Your body might be sabotaging your career. Not on purpose, your heart is in the right place. In fact, you've mastered the basics. As a Toastmaster, you're way past avoiding eye contact, wussy handshakes, and the proverbial fig leaf arms. But beware, there are more subtle nonverbal cues that can damage your credibility as a leader. There's three that I'm going to discuss. The first one is making yourself small. Our body language shapes our own confidence. So if we go around with closed arms or a slouched position or neck rubbing, these are self-protecting poses. They're like insecurity, and it actually affects our hormones. They've done studies, and it affects the chemicals in our bodies when we behave this way. And when our hormones get us feeling this way, we're even more likely to do it. So it becomes a vicious cycle. And to become more confident, we should practice having an open arms, taking up more space in the room, just being more aware and deliberate about our body language. This will help us look strong and feel more confident. The second thing is titled Choosing the Wrong Seat. And we're not talking about trying to make your way to the head of the table. It's about choosing to sit on the sidelines rather than pulling a chair up to the table. Literally, if we're in a meeting and the table's not big enough to accommodate everyone, we need to find a bigger table or a different room, because everyone involved in something should be at the table. And as a leader, we won't build confidence or we won't create engagement by having anyone on the sidelines. It affects us. The third thing is letting your stress show. And you've all seen this. It can take many forms. If we're coming in late to a meeting and we're looking disheveled or fidgeting impatiently, or multitasking in meetings. We've all seen people on their cell phone texting someone. I mean, it may be work related, but when we're doing that, we're not present in the meeting. We're not there contributing. So what a calm and collective is what breeds confidence, being calm and collective. A celebrated dancer once said, the body never lies. So pay close attention to what your body is telling you, and it will go a long way towards bolstering your credibility. So those are three things: having a confident body language, not sitting on the sidelines, and not letting any of your people that you're with sit on the sidelines either, and staying calm, not showing stress. By doing those three subtle things, that will help us as leaders. That was the article, and I would like to add one thing to it. Part of this article bothers me. I just hit something on my computer. Part of this article bothers me a little bit because I've been in therapy a lot in my life, and one of the last therapists I've had said something to me that was rather profound. I was asking, like, how should I act when I go somewhere? Like if I'm in a meeting or I'm at a cocktail party, say, I just always feel so awkward. How should I act? And the one thing she said was, don't ape being human. And what she meant by that was, don't fake being human. Don't fake how I feel. Be genuine. Be myself. Feel what I'm feeling. And at the same time, I completely agree with the article that the things they talk about are important, but I have to find a way to make it genuine, not just fake it. Maybe I have to fake it a little initially, but ultimately it's got to be who I am. Because if I'm just trying to pretend to be something because it says that's what makes somebody look successful, it's not going to work, at least not for me. So I think it's a great article, but there's more to the story than just what it says, at least in my experience. And that's my educational overview. So thank you for listening, and back to you, Luke.
Thanks, David. I really appreciate that. And I definitely appreciate the ending too, that you added onto that. One of the biggest things, if I didn't really tell a lot of people, that I'm, scared of public speaking, or, I'm not comfortable in large social gatherings or anything like that. It's more of a personal thing. And the people that I did tell, would always say, fake it till you make it, just get up there and be confident and all this stuff. And that never worked for me because I wasn't confident. I didn't feel confident inside. I can't project that out. And everything shows, like my body language would show, my voice would quiver and so forth. And so I 100% agree. You look at that article, you take those steps and you kind of adjust them a little bit to fit you, and just pulling a chair up to the table is a physical act. And you can still do that, and be genuine, and so anyway, I agree with you, David, and I appreciate the education overview. So thank you. All right, so moving on, I will turn it over to our table topics master tonight, and that is Maurice.
All right, thank you, Toastmaster. I have some sheets of paper with some table topics, and I'll ask for volunteer. Anybody? Don't all raise your hand at one time. Okay, Kyler. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 365.
Just gonna go with the number 4, just because it's one of those numbers that just always sticks out to me for some reason.
Okay, number 4. What gets you excited about life?
Okay. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. For my table topic this evening, I've been asked what gets me excited about life. That's a tough question to answer without saying it's Cheyenne. Cheyenne gets me excited about life. Yeah, she does get me excited about life. But one of the things that I like about Cheyenne that incorporates to like everything, we both do it with each other, is we're both very, I guess, creative people. Like we both enjoy bringing something to life. Like, you know, Cheyenne's working on a project right now, you know, creating something, doing something that wasn't there previously. And the fact that we both kind of have the same mindset towards that, we both kind of encourage each other. Like we may not necessarily like the same things, but we can kind of see in each other the excitement we get from, you know, creating something that didn't previously exist, whether it be, you know, decorating a house or, you know, writing a song or something like that. So it's sort of a two-part question. As far as people go, it's definitely Cheyenne. And as far as just, you know, daily activities, it's the same for both of us. It's just being able to create something that didn't exist previously. So back to you.
All right, thank you, Kyler. And we'll do at least a couple more before we move on to the third part of the Toastmasters meeting. Next volunteer, please. Okay, Luke. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 365.
I will do number 8. It's my lucky number.
Okay, number 8. Who do you love and what are you doing about it?
Who do I love? What am I? Man, that's like a loaded question there. Let's see. Well, I guess that the first thing that comes to mind is, I guess it's definitely a personal question. You guys haven't met Savannah, but she's my girlfriend right now. She works for NOAA. She's a health and safety officer. So we currently live together. And I think I've said this before, but you know, as people get older, you know, you're thinking of marriage, family, and starting something, you know, bigger. And so that's definitely the primary focus right now in my life, is to, you know, be a husband and be a good father and start raising a family. So that's, I guess that's kind of deep answer to your question, but I besides, you know, loving my dogs so much and treating them like humans, that's really the first thing that came to mind. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. But on another note, we have two small Pekingese. I always felt I was a large dog guy. My parents got a working class German Shepherd, and we ended up falling in love with this Pekingese that we house sit at one time. And they're just really sweet personal dogs. And I literally treat our two like humans, and they're part of the family. So yeah, between Savannah and the dogs, that's my answer, Maurice. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Luke. And we will go at least one more. Any other volunteers?
I'll try.
Okay, David. Pick a number between 1 and 365.
183.
Okay, 183. What do you see when you look into the future?
Thank you, Maurice. My question is number 183, question number 183. What do I see when I look into the future? That is a good question, because it got me to thinking I really don't look into the future that much. I worry about the future, what's going to happen. I regret things that have happened in the past, but I don't look into the future with a real game plan, at least not right now. I don't know if I ever have most of my life. I grew up and it was just assumed I would go to college, so I did, and had an aptitude for math, so it's like, why not engineering? So I did that. I took the first job I got with the state of Alabama as a civil engineer. I did that and worked for almost 30 years. And now I'm retired because I'm managed to get myself into a position where I could retire early. So I did that. And I'm busy every day, but at the end of the day, I think to myself, what have I really done today? And part of the reason I don't know where I'm going probably is that I'm not looking into the future as much as I could or should. So that really gives me food for thought. And hopefully the future will be a wonderful, blessed thing, but I really don't know. And it's something I'll reflect on further. So, but thank you for the question, Maurice, and back to you.
All right, thank you, David. And in order for me not to get zonked going over these table topics, I will relinquish the lecture back to the Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Maurice. Okay, so for the next portion of our meeting, I'd like to introduce our general evaluator, and he will be calling on his evaluation team. So I will relinquish the lectern back to our general evaluator, Donovan.
Thank you, Luke. First off, I just want to go ahead and say that the meeting went well as a whole. Right now, I'm actually timing it just to make sure it's accurate. Right now, it's 28 minutes and 15 seconds. So, next point, I'm going to call my evaluation team. First off, I would want to call Olivia up to the lectern to give her evaluation on the D speech.
Hello, everyone. I am the speech evaluator for Majid tonight. And the title of his speech, correct me if I'm wrong, is Scientist Behind CEO. Is that correct? Very good. Majid, I really enjoyed your speech from the time you stood up and started to walk around the room. I really felt like you were extremely comfortable. I put here that you had great gestures and body language. You were tall, bright, and colorful. You excelled with audience participation, moving around the podium, and not much use, if any at all, of your notes. Did you have notes, Majid? Were you reading?
Yeah, I had some pointers that I would carve out from. Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
I was looking on and off just to make sure that I don't miss any point.
Well, you did very good to hide the fact that you were even looking at notes. It kind of blended in with your movements and your hand gestures. So you were already looking around the room. So I couldn't really catch if you were ever actually looking at notes. So good job on that. And that's a good pointer for all of us, because if you do it just right, you can look at your notes and no one really even knows. So good job on that. If I were to say something for you to challenge yourself, I would say slow down just a little bit, give yourself maybe a little bit more time. So I think this speech was 5 to 7. Maybe you can see about moving it up to a 6 to 8 minute speech, just so you can have a little more time. It seemed like you started rushing a little bit and I kind of lost what you're saying. Number one, we're speaking over a computer. And number two, you do have a beautiful accent. I love it. But sometimes it kind of gets, hard to decipher when you're looking through the computer screen. Never have I had that problem speaking to you or watching your speech in public. So I do know that it's the method that we're speaking now that may be causing some difficulties, but I would just say slow down, maybe just a tad bit. So for clarity, spoken language Is it clear and easily understood? I gave you a 3 for that, which is accomplished. Vocal variety, I gave you a 4, which means you excelled because I did notice where your speed and your tone changed a bit when you were getting our attention. Your eye contact, I gave you also a 4 for that because you were definitely excelled with the eye contact. Gestures, I gave you a 5. That is use physical gestures effectively. I could tell sometimes, even when I may have missed a word that you were saying, I can see the thumbs up, or I can see when you were like bringing your hands together, showing inclusion and things like that. So your gestures were beautiful. Your audience awareness, I definitely gave you a 4. You were aware, you even called my name when you said, Olivia says, no, I am not ready for artificial intelligence to mingle or mix with my intelligence. No, that comfort level was a 5. I wish I could give you a 6 or more. I don't know, maybe a 10. You could really tell that you were comfortable with this. And like I said, the comfort was so strong that I didn't even catch that you were looking at notes. So you were moving around. I don't know if it's because you're at home or what, or I don't know. You said you were ill prepared for the speech or under prepared, but I think you did a great job. Interesting. I definitely think that it says that you engage the audience with interesting and well-constructed content. I gave you a 4 for that. And then your topic, is it new or unusual? I gave you a 4 for that one also. Definitely was an unusual topic, and I was not aware that the inventor or Tesla car guy, that he'd done all that stuff. So that was amazing, and I'm gonna definitely go and do some more research to learn some more about that. So I think your speech was wonderful. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next one. Back to you, Donovan, for general evaluator.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you.
First, I would like to ask you the question. Is there a second evaluator for the education overview?
No, I don't think there was anybody to evaluate.
Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and actually the research. So that comes back to Majid for the panel's report, and then I'll call Majid's time as well. So first, you'll see speak on Majid.
Hello, everyone. Now the timer. Let me start with Luke first. If you can, Luke, time for the first prepared speech, and then, okay, 7 minutes and 49 seconds is the prepared
7
speech.
minutes, 49 seconds.
7 minutes, 49 seconds. The second prepared speech from David was 5 minutes and 47 seconds. And in the table topic, the first contestant, Tyler, was 1 minute and 31 seconds. And almost everyone was in the same range. Luke was the second table topic, and he was 1 minute and 39 seconds. And David was 1 minute and 33 seconds. Olivia was, for the evaluation, she was 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Majid. The next one that I would like to meet with the next one is the all-panel title. Title, would you please give your all-council report, please?
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. So I'm here to give my all-counter report for the evening. We did pretty well. Starting first with Majid, you had a couple filler words before the speech started, but once the speech started, it was like, you zeroed in and you focused, and I didn't hear any filler words after that. It was sort of like in old samurai movies when, he just kind of looks and the, camera zooms in like real close and like, he's like locked in. That it was that kind of vibe. You just like, everything clicked as soon as, so once you got into the speech, no filler words at all. So excellent work on that. Keep it up. And then, see, David did well. I didn't hear any filler words with him. I had over 5, but probably not as many as I normally do. Luke had quite a few filler words, but you do get it's understandable because you're asked like a pretty personal question, which that's what Table Topics is about, being asked something that you're not ready to talk about or you're not expecting. So all things considered, you handled it well, but there was a few filler words in the process of kind of determining what you wanted to say, which is, like I said, which is totally understandable. And Maurice got the word of the day. So I don't think I heard anyone else say the word of the day. If they want to correct me, they can, but I heard Maurice. And then other than that, also Maurice, your table topics were fantastic. They were good, open-ended, thought-provoking questions. So I like that. And then back to you, Donovan.
Hey, I want to interject one thing, Kyler.
Yeah.
I noticed that tonight you have combined your as one word.
Yeah.
So come on now, you got to get people up. Because you say, I'm like, wait a minute, Kyler. So I'm not used to you doing that. So cut that out. No more together.
Thank you. I appreciate that because, see, I didn't even catch on to that, but that does sound like something. It's like I'm trying not to use it, so it has to adapt to survive, and so they combine forces. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, that was just real constructive.
Hey, just to add one more point, like I like the way he unmutes himself and with a smile it says greetings fellow Toastmasters so fluently. So I was about to say, wow, he's getting in flow. Huh? Like he unmute and say greetings fellow Toastmasters, like you have a natural flow. Like I would start with a hiccup and then maybe get a flow, but yeah, you start very, very fluent, Kyler.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. For one more role that I would like to go ahead and make with that. So that's on the title for grammarian recruit.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. So for my grammarian's report, I did not hear any abuses of the English language. Everyone spoke very clearly and did a great job getting their points across. And then, like I said earlier, the only person I heard use the word of the day was Maurice. So going forward, I recommend we all challenge ourselves to use the word of the day more often.
And that was easy. That word of the day was easy. I just forgot. I tell you what, when we used to have them sitting at the lectern with the word facing us, it was so much easier. But I wrote the word down and I can use zonked a million times because I've been zonked all day and just forgot to even use it. Anyway, oh well, back to you.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and request that I come back to Luke as the Toastmaster. So I won't knock anyone else. Thank you.
Thanks, Donovan. Great job. I appreciate you being a general evaluator tonight. All right, guys. Well, look, I think that completes our meeting for this evening. We don't have any awards. We've done our education overview. We got about 4 minutes left. But I would just like to say that I think it was another great meeting. Majid, thank you again for doing your speech. I agree with exactly what Kyler and like Olivia was saying too, especially Kyler, when it's like, when you started to speak, it was I don't know, it was just like you were on. And so I didn't notice any filler words either. And I even thought that like during the speech. So anyway, I thought you did a great job tonight, and I thought the story was really interesting too. So yeah, I really appreciate it. The Gather Church, I think I'm saying that right now, Gather Church. I will do my best to get a hold of them this week. I would really like to do our next meeting for next Monday as our first hybrid meeting. If we can make that happen. And so Maurice, I'll definitely be getting with you offline and kind of discussing some things, and I will, I'll keep everybody posted if we're doing the hybrid meeting or not. I'll just send out a group text. Does anybody have a speech or anything they would like to do next week?
If we are meeting in person, I want to do one.
Okay, you like to meet in person, Majid?
Yeah, for the first. Yeah, if you're doing Monday, I'll
Okay.
like to do one.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think right now, Donovan, did you say you wanted to join in person?
No, I was gonna ask you a question. You know if it's gonna be virtual too?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to do a hybrid virtual in-person meeting. So, everybody's safety and comfort level is paramount. So it takes, the precedence here. So if you do feel comfortable coming, please come. We're going to practice our social distancing. We'll wear masks, we'll have hand sanitizer, and we'll take the necessary precautions that we need. So if you feel comfortable, you can come to the church. If not, that is no big deal. We'll be doing it virtually, and you can just do it just like we're doing now. So Maurice and I will figure out how we'll really set it up to where we can kind of see everybody. I don't really know how that's going to work, but we'll iron out all the details.
Okay, thank you. Just the reason why is that Roland is very stringent on not going into public places because the community that we have is that we give life and share life with people who are sort of mentally not unstable but very they're elderly and they're very can be easily prone to things, and if adult something and really wildfire and it just won't be good for them. So I'll probably have to do it virtually rather than face to face.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And we will keep up the virtual meetings as long as we need to. If this is something that we need to get our own Zoom account, after, right now we're using Olivia's. I think Toastmasters International is only going to give us a Zoom account for so long. So if this is something that we need to look at, even for one member, I'd be happy to, go off and get a Zoom account, because I want everybody to feel comfortable. And, we don't know how long this is going to go on. So anyway, I want everybody to join in any way they can. So
Thank you.
let's see. And I think that's all the club business I have to pass, guys. Does anybody have anything else, David?
I think I've actually been to that church before. That's on that's in a shopping center, and Lawrence, actually his wife died good Lord, it's been a year and a half or 2 years ago, I forget. But they had we had a meeting there afterwards. So it's a really nice facility. If it's the same one, I think it is that I've been to, but I'm not quite ready to go yet in person. But it is a very nice church, I think. And the name
Sure.
is just Gather, isn't
I
it?
think
Like
it's Gather
Gather,
too.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. So I've
gathering
been
together.
completely butchering the name. I blame Georgia Public Schools. Okay, so I will, like I said, I'll talk to Gather Church and hopefully we'll make this happen next Monday. Does anybody else have anything before we close it down tonight? Majid?
No, I was just saying bye. Sorry, I didn't have any.
All right. Bye,
Oh.
Majid.
All right, guys. Well, hey, it was a good meeting. Hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see everybody next week.
All right. Thank
Everybody
you,
take care.
everyone.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.